You're alone in the kitchen and you say it out loud. Where did I put it? Nobody's there. Nobody was ever going to answer. People will tell you that's stress, or loneliness, or the first sign that something's going wrong up there. It isn't. What you just did is one of the most sophisticated things a human brain can do. And you learned it before you could read. Psychologists call it self-directed speech. Once you know where that voice came from, you won't hear it the same way again. In 2012, two psychologists, Gary Lupien and Daniel Swingley, got interested in something they'd seen in supermarkets. People standing in front of a shelf, scanning it, quietly saying the thing they were looking for. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. So they built a test around it. Participants sat in front of a screen cluttered with objects and were told to find one specific thing. Sometimes they searched in silence. Sometimes they were told to say the name of the object out loud while they looked. The ones who spoke found it faster. Same eyes, same screen, same brain. The only difference was a word leaving their mouth. Saying the name of a thing makes your visual system better at spotting that thing. For a few seconds, you become a detector tuned to one object. There's a catch, though. It only works when the word and the thing are a close match. Say dog while hunting for an unusual-looking dog, and it starts to hurt you. Your brain builds a picture from the word, then goes looking for the picture instead of the dog. So the muttering isn't a habit you picked up, it's equipment. Which raises a harder question. Where did you get it? In the 1930s, a Russian psychologist called Lev Vygotsky spent a lot of time watching children work. He kept noticing the same thing. Give a 4-year-old something difficult, and they start talking. Not to you. Not to anyone. Turn it. No. Other way. There. Jean Piaget had already seen this and dismissed it. He thought it was immaturity leaking out. Noise a child produces before they learn that thoughts are supposed to stay inside. Vygotsky watched the timing instead. The talking didn't happen at random. It arrived exactly when the task got hard and faded when it got easy. That isn't the pattern of leftover noise. That's the pattern of a tool being picked up. He called it private speech. It shows up around 4 or 5. It peaks around 5 or 6. Then, through the early school years, it fades, but it doesn't disappear. It goes quiet. It moves inside your head and becomes the voice you're hearing right now, reading these words. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Children don't invent the words they use on themselves. Before a child can talk themselves through a task, someone else talks them through it first. Careful. Slow down. Nearly there. Good. Now the other one. Weeks later, the child is alone with a puzzle, saying the same lines to themselves. Same words, same tone, same order. Two psychologists, Diaz and Burke, described it exactly. In private speech, children start using on themselves the same tools their caregivers used on them. The instructions get handed over. Then they go silent. So the voice in your head has a source, and the source is other people. A parent, a teacher, whoever happened to be in the room when you were 4. You didn't build that voice. You absorbed it. And there's a strange piece of evidence that fits. In 2017, a team led by Jason Moser and Ethan Cross put people in front of disturbing images and asked them to sit with painful memories. One group reflected using the word I, the other group used their own name. Meanwhile, the researchers watched what the brain did. The name group's emotional reaction dropped inside the first second. And it cost them nothing. No spike in effortful self-control, no strain. The brain just handled it more calmly. Same person. Same memory. One word changed. Talking to yourself works better when you stop sounding like yourself. When the voice steps outside you and speaks to you the way another person would, it can do things you can't do from the inside. Which is what it was always for. So go back to the kitchen. You're standing there, talking out loud to an empty room, sounding slightly mad. Nobody's there. That part was always true, but the voice doing the talking was never only yours. It's every person who ever stood next to you and talked you through something difficult, still working long after they stopped speaking. Nobody was ever going to answer. Nobody needed to. The answer was already in the room, in a voice you borrowed a long time ago and never gave back.